There's the inspiration, Satoshi Nakamoto, mysterious character. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it a group of people? You don't know. There's a backstory. There's a folklore. There's a mystique. It was created. It's the most successful blockchain out there. It then sparks an entire revolution in an industry. There's no publicist for Bitcoin. There isn't a corporation somewhere that's running it. It's all been organic. Utilizing mass media is something that's inherently important to spread the message of what we're doing. And the typical mass media broadcast market at this point in time is focusing on things like just the price of Bitcoin. They're not talking about blockchain. They're not talking about these wonderful entrepreneurs that are on the panel that are also here at the conference and folks like yourself in the audience. And that is very, very important when you go back in time and you look at the World Wide Web. I had the honor of being one of the founding producers of CNET. And CNET was a technology news network in America. We had 5 shows, ended up selling to CBS for about $1.5 billion a few years back. At that time, not so many people even knew what the internet was, let alone the World Wide Web. So we focused on telling the stories about the people who are utilizing that new protocol in an interesting, positive manner to change the world or to change their world. And that's what broadcast media can do. That's what video can do. And that's the inherent core, contribution that Decentric Media is looking to make on a global basis.
I think we need to do much better work simplifying everything we tell about blockchain, so mass audience will understand the benefits for them. And I think we should find a way to tell more truthful stories. We've seen last year how the narrative about changing the world turned into narrative making money fast. And it's funny that it's industry that speaks about trust, while you could meet least trustworthy people in business and blockchain. And I think it is something what we need to take care about as a community and really think about like how we can act as a community to avoid lack of trust and to simplify the language that we use to tell about blockchain.
I think mass adoption means different things for different projects. Right? I think there shouldn't be a blanket statement saying that we should have mass adoption for everything. I think if you're a smart contracts platform, you need developers. If you are a currency, you need usage. You need businesses that will accept them. Right? Mass adoption will be reached individually per project, and I think the blanket approach will be very. It's just way too high level for me as a performance marketer from Facebook to kind of wrap my head around. I think in order to have a sustainable, long-term success for this industry, we need individual projects to really think about what does mass adoption mean for them, and really truly target the people that will give them the mass adoption, a sustainable mass adoption that they will have.
They really still don't have criteria how to estimate if it is important or not. They just really don't understand what are they talking about when they are talking about blockchain, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and so on, and events, and who are these guys or that guys. They just don't understand how to estimate if it is expert or not, if it is really will influence the market or not. And that's why they just talk about the market itself, just the volatility of Bitcoin. This is the only one thing they understand.
And I think it's really important for us to address what the pitfalls have been in PR and marketing for our industry. Why is adoption not happening faster? And now that you've addressed the fact that a lot of traditional media are just not picking up stories on blockchain because they don't understand the industry enough, I think that we all really know that we're going to have to concentrate on education as part of our communication strategy. So I'd love to go a little bit deeper into that. Like, what are some of the examples that you guys have seen of issues that we've had in PR? I mean, I know besides just too many Lambos going out there talking about positive impacts that we can be using blockchain technology for. Let's kind of explore those issues.
I think the way that blockchain has been portrayed in the media has been kind of renegade, kind of like a little bit on the fringe, and it's actually a very, very legitimate industry, as we all know. I think that as somebody who's been a music producer for the past 11 years, seeing people that are now tokenizing their personalities, this is something that I think rubs a lot of people the wrong way. There's also a lot of times when this is really good.
There's the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that's propagated by traditional media, hence why we're creating our own media network, because guess what? You can, and we can, and that's the point. And then it just becomes part of pop culture, it becomes part of mass culture. I remember when Twitter was first, a Twitter feed was first used in broadcast news. This was a whole revelation. They had a whole department, if you remember. I'm sure, Henry, you remember, and everyone else here might. Twitter TV. That whole department was just designed to get tweets on news. And now they have actual hardware boxes, and it's part of the norm. CNBC is starting to put the ticker for Bitcoin up in their normal ticker. So it's attrition, and it will take time.
Education is really important for this industry. And education in the form of a mission and why you're doing what you're doing. And I think there's very little that has been done in the industry. Everyone's talking about how do we get more token sales? How do we get on exchanges? How do we do all these, more of a financial engineering conversations and less of why are we doing all this in the first place, right? And I think for all the other people that are not in this room that want to understand what we're doing, we need to tell them about why we're doing this. Why are we committing our entire career or have shifted from other careers to jump into this? And for me, leaving Facebook to join a family office that invests exclusively in cryptocurrencies and blockchain projects, right? There's a whole lot of reason behind that, and all of us have a reason that we're here for, and all the projects have their reasons, and they just haven't done a good job of explaining why they're doing it. And all the media sees is how much money can I make, and when is this price going to go up, and what exchange is going to go up. That's crazy talk, and that's going to stop.
Blockchain is no longer, as I said, a niche industry. We should be working with the traditional industries that we're trying to disrupt. We're not going to replace traditional industries. We're going to provide them with a technological solution to improve what they're already doing. So I think that's so important to really delve deeper into. And I don't know if anyone here has some good examples of what they've seen lately, where a project has really marketed or communicated themselves in a way where they do understand all of the technical background of what they're doing and have really kind of gained that adoption that we're looking for.
I think we should look at the most obvious one, which is Bitcoin. There's the inspiration, Satoshi Nakamoto, mysterious character. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it a group of people? You don't know. There's a backstory. There's a folklore. There's a mystique. It was created. It's the most successful blockchain out there. It then sparks an entire revolution in an industry. There's no publicist for Bitcoin. There isn't a corporation somewhere that's running it. It's all been organic. It's been folks like you that have written about it, or anyone else that's talked about it. So just by pure might of innovation, it has completely had the best marketing you could possibly have of any protocol that's ever been created in the last century, if you really look at it from that way. Another one that I thought was very just humorously interesting, and this may be a little sensitive because we happen to be here in South Korea, was Dennis Rodman was doing a wonderful interview on CNN while our president was here not too long ago doing peace talks. in Singapore, and he was on the on air. About I think it was something around 28 million people saw Dennis Rodman, who's friends with the North Korean leader, and he was wearing a potcoin.com T-shirt and got plenty of shout outs for that. It made the entire interview completely ridiculous in one way, but Potcoin ICO went through the roof, more people kept buying it, and it's off to the races. So there's some interesting brand integrations that have been done within media that I think I would call that a huge success. Do I agree with the tactics? Do I think it's benefiting the industry? No. But the interesting thing about it is sort of the whole ridiculousness of it. But that's not something that's advancing us in any sort of positive way.
The one thing that I focus a lot on, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's how long did it take for them to get to where they are today? People kind of forget that, right? 2009, right? It took them, what, like 8 years? In 2017 was a big break from 1,000 to, 18, 19,000. Ethereum, 2013, right? It took them 4 or 5 years of long journey. They almost went bankrupt, and Vitalik was on a plane flying around everywhere to do meetups and evangelizing their platform before they were even built. And then you have these smart contracts that believe that they have a new consensus algorithm that can, win the hearts of developers overnight. They can buy them, they can spend money, and then they will come to them. Right? It'll take time.
Leave our audience with maybe a good tip, a trick of the trade, even a tool that you found really useful that could help everyone on the road to success.
I would encourage you to think about community and don't think about how millions of people can know about me. I would think about who are these 100 people that should know about my project? How can I find them? And maybe among these 100 people, it should be 20, 30 people, the people whom you already know. And think about that, what circumstances, what place, what time you should go to them, and how can you tell the story about what you do.
I mean, I just cannot stress enough how important it is to know your industry. Take the time, lock yourself in a room, study the tech, study the legalities of the industry that you're trying to introduce these solutions to, know what the actual problems are so that when you go talk to investors, when you talk to these communities, when you talk to people that are going to be your clients or your customers or whoever your community is, know what their problems are.
Everyone speak about exciting or something about inspiration. Yes, but the media is not about inspiration. It's about the trust. So if you want to be in media, you should have a great, well-known partner. You should have official support of the government and be ready to pay. That's 3 simple steps.